All right, we're gonna go ahead and kick it off here. It looks like the majority of people I think have gotten in there, getting situated. So, welcome to today's webinar. We're gonna be talking about streamlining your pool estimates. And we've brought two awesome JobTread customers that have been with us for quite a while now. We've got Kira Lee from Mako Pools out of Denton, Texas. And we've got Kelley and Jeff Turner from Staycation Fiberglass Pools, located in San Antonio, Texas. So got a bunch of Texas here in the house. As you all know, we're right in the middle, I guess, of those two. Maybe a little bit closer to Kira, but we're in Dallas, Texas. So really excited, though. Appreciate our guests for coming on and just really opening up and sharing more about how they are using JobTread and how it's helped them in their pool business to grow and scale. So I want to start introduce Kira a little bit more, let her share her background, how she got into building pools with Mako here. And yeah, I'm going to turn it over to you, Kira. Welcome.
Hi, um, I am Kira Lee from Mako Pools. We're in Denton. Thank you, Eric, for the introduction. Um, we started building pools in 2020 during COVID. We have a long history of construction. We've been in the construction industry since 2006 is when we opened our first business. And in 2020, a friend of our owners who has been working on pool service for the last 12, 13 years said to him, I think that new pool construction is where it's at. I think that Jay knowing about the pool service side of things and Troy knowing about the construction side of things, they thought that they could, build a dream team. And both of those guys have full-time jobs as their other businesses. So they handed it off to me and said, here you go. Figure out how to design, build, and estimate a pool. And luckily, all of the subcontractors that we were able to find were more than happy to share their wealth of knowledge with me and teach me every step I needed in order to estimate everything. So the plumbing subcontractor that we were using, plumbing and steel, she told me, she said, I don't have time to send you a bid for every single pool you're going to estimate. So you need to learn how to do this. And so she sat down for 20 minutes with me and taught me how to plumb a pool. And with all of that information, once I found JobTread, I was able to set those custom parameters. And whereas before we were using a spreadsheet to do all of our estimating, basing all of our pricing on what our costs were, marking those up, and then hoping for the best. Um, we were turned down by a ton of customers who were looking for the cheapest price. Um, that's not really the market that we want to be in. We want to do quality work, not cheap work. And so once we got a hold of JobTread and really perfected our estimating process, we know exactly how much it's going to cost for every bit of the trade, less change orders and unforeseen things, just based on what we design. And I really don't think that it would have been a smooth process had we not found JobTread early on. I think we found JobTread in 2001. I think they'd been open for about a year whenever I first talked to Travis. So I've really loved all of the new features that come out, and every single time there is a new feature, I play with it and see how can I make this work. Um, Eric, do you want me to go ahead and share my screen?
Yeah, we can kind of go into that. One other fun fact I just thought I would share is, Kira, she mentioned that they have got other construction related businesses here, and so you're actually a three-time JobTread user with the three different companies, which is really neat to kind of see how you've really been able to apply the same, skills and techniques to set up and manage the different construction businesses on JobTread, which is really cool. So
Yeah,
here
it's
you
definitely been helpful for all of our companies. And every company has different aspects that work best for, how we use JobTread. On the roofing side, we seriously utilize the work orders. We're able to break out our budget based on materials that we have to order, and then also installation, the subcontractor installation. And so our project manager can basically just view by cost. It's not the cost code; it's the cost type. View by cost type to split up the labor and the materials, and he can send our material order out, and he can send our labor order out.
go.
Um, Daily logs on the construction side of things are so helpful, really documenting the processes of the kitchen and bathroom remodels that can take weeks. And you want to make sure that a customer can't come back and blame you for something that was already there before we even started the job. And it's really been amazing how quickly all of our employees have accepted the change
Sure.
and really just grown into it. And they're all really super looking forward to the conference in January, hoping to learn some new tricks.
Yeah, very excited. So here, yeah, I'm gonna stop my share. I'll let you go ahead, and why don't you just kind of walk us through, your process here and how you go about it in JobTread.
All right. Did that work?
Not seeing your screen quite yet.
Oh, it's because I didn't hit the share button. Did that work?
Coming in now. All right, there we are.
Okay. So this is a test job that I just sort of duplicated so that I can play around with it and not screw up anything. But obviously, everybody's probably pretty familiar with the dashboard. But what I personally have spent the most time on in JobTread is really building um, our templates as far as the cost catalog goes. And I have several, but what I've really been trying to get towards is being able to just have my, new pool construction, or if it's going to be a new pool and spa construction. Um, so let's see, this is the one that we went with, this pool spa, and it could definitely be more organized, but um, every one of these cost items has our parameters put into it. And so I'm able to take a design. Most of the time, I'm the one that's doing the design. But if not, if a customer hands us a design, as long as I have all of the area and measurements that I need, I'm able to give them either a very quick ballpark price, or I can give them a more in-depth, here's absolutely everything. So as long as I have the pool linear feet, internal area, a lot of times we can just guess the plumbing runs, especially in the early discovery phases based on where their equipment is going. I'm utilizing some of the drop downs with if functions for, if there's a spa, well, then I need to add some of these. They automatically populate. So once I have all of those, and I'm constantly changing my template, mostly because every single time we build a pool, I think as with normal construction, you find something that you forgot that maybe you should have put it in there. And so I'm constantly evolving our template to make sure that if I did forget something last time, I'm not going to forget it again. Um, Here's one of the budget line items where I have it utilizing an if function. Permits are different costs in whatever city you're in. And so it will populate the cost based on what city you're in. So I've basically got all of my trades. Let me toggle the selections. I've also got selections on here to where once I create this estimate, I'm going to force my customers to check off an agreement showing that they did see that if we hit rock, we are charging extra. Let me get back to the quantities. So there's my, if there's a spa, use 2. If there's not a spa, use 1, depending on how many drains I need. If I've got a spa, then it adds in our base spa package, spa main drains. I need to put in all of this information. I've got a selection based on what kind of steel package the customers want to go with, if they want to do the upgraded or the regular. And then I've even got calculations in here based on if there are raised beams, I know that I will need more steel, more gunite. Waterline tile, sometimes I throw in here a glass tile option, but my goal with these estimates is to not only give the customers the cheapest option, but also give them the high-end option. What I think Anna usually says, good, better, best. So that's kind of what I try to do. I want the customers to be in charge of how they want to use their money. If they have a budget of $100,000 for a pool, I want them to be able to determine themselves, is it worth it to do a travertine coping, but a plain white plaster? Or would they rather get a more expensive high-end plaster and then just get, plain coping that maybe they don't care so much about? It's not up to me to decide how customers want to spend their money. And I love to give them all of the options. Here's one of those agreements where if I were to try to approve this, it will say that I have to have the selection. So I feel like in Texas especially, we have so much rock that you just don't know. And customers don't want to pay the $3,500 or however much it costs to do a geotech survey. They would rather just risk it. So if we're going to risk it, I need you to sign off on this. We will change order you. As far as the different selections go, I love that they can see exactly how much extra it's going to cost if they want to do some of these upgrades. Whether they want to do a standard coping or a travertine. Somebody once also told me that if you don't have the little add-ons, the impulse aisle on some of your estimates, that you're losing out. So I've sort of added in some of these things that are just an extra. Oh, do you want us to seal all of the coping and stonework? It'll add $600. Some people are just ready to spend the money, and some people say, oh, I would rather do that myself for $600. And that's fine. They can pick it. I give them, rather than them constantly coming back with questions about, well, what if we change to chlorine equipment? How much would that cost? Or, you know, how much is the salt? Rather than trying to work several different estimates and send them all, I let them just, select it. Here's how much this will cost. Here's how much this will cost. We typically don't offer a whole lot of other we don't do in-floor systems or anything like that. And so we just kind of have the two packages. But if we had a special situation or a much larger, specialty pool, we could always add those. We let them pick their cleaner option, their automation option. Um, there's some more impulse things if you wanted to add a chiller. And then as far as some of our plaster goes, I love to be able to reference the colors that they can pick. I don't have all of those set up, but it really makes it easier when they can see what they're choosing. On our roofing JobTread, we are able to have a photo of every single shingle color so that the customers, even though it's the same price, regardless of the shingle selection, they're definitely able to go in and make their color selection. And then down here at the bottom, we just have all of our contract standard, sign this. But that's basically our estimating process.
That's awesome. And so are you delivering this to them like while you're in person with them, or are you sending it out like kind of after you sort of had some of those initial conversations, you've gathered all of the information, kind of what does that process look like?
Our sales process can vary. We have several customers that have come to us with, they already have their design. They just are price shopping.
Mhm.
And so in that case, we can just very easily shoot them based on the information that you've given me, here's a ballpark. We can get into the nitty-gritty details later. We have other customers that definitely care about the design that their pool company does, and they want to see what everybody else can come up with. And so our initial meeting will be the on-site meeting where we take the measurements of their backyard, we collect the survey, we take a bunch of pictures, and then sort of get some ideas of design. And then I will bring that back to the office, create the design, and then upload the design plans or video or renderings into the system and send it with the estimate.
Gotcha. That's awesome. And do you leverage like do you show them kind of the schedule or how long this will, this process will take? If we start today, like are you bringing in any other aspects of, how you are, using JobTread to not only sort of help you with the pre-contract, the sales process, but also the construction side?
Not at this time on the pool side, just because all of this weather has been absolutely insane lately. And I don't want to share the construction schedule with them because it will definitely change.
Sure.
I do share with them often their responsibilities and their tasks. Um, I've got our whole schedule built as a template already, and I'm utilizing all of this has to happen before this. And so we definitely assign the homeowners their responsibilities to make sure that they're doing the things that they need to do, like their selections and their HOA approval. Um, I have shared the schedule with them. Unfortunately, it just is ever changing, and then we get behind and it just gets backed up because there's really just me in the office.
Yeah. Yeah.
And while our project manager does utilize JobTread, it's very, very hard on his phone to do some of the schedule type things. So he doesn't keep up with that part. We probably need to get him a tablet, but we haven't
Yeah.
done that.
No, that makes sense. I mean, and I'm currently going through a a pool build right now, and the contractor's using JobTread. So like I definitely understand the schedule shifts, and some things are just unforeseen circumstances, weather. We kind of got hung up on a couple different parts of the project, and so I can see how if you give them too much and set the
Mhm.
expectation up front, you got to be very, very careful about, hey, like this is all subject to change. So totally get it. And this looks like a very detailed schedule that you built out as well. With the release of like to-dos, I'm curious, like, will you continue to sort of use, the schedule in its entirety how you are, or are there things where maybe it becomes a little bit higher level in some of all of those kind of detailed individual, to do items there? Would they be pulled off the schedule, or do you really like how
Yes,
you've got this?
I'm definitely planning on making some changes now that there's to do, especially on any of the in-office type things. I think most notably on the roofing side of our business, there's so much back end office things that have to happen as far as um, filing the insurance claim paperwork, the certificate of completion, invoicing the first draw as soon as the roof is complete. Those are all going to be to-dos, and we're going to transition those off of the schedule because the homeowners don't need to see that. And while they don't, because of the permissions that we can set for those items,
Yeah.
I would really love to be able to sort of have the same sort of schedule built out where it's the larger trades and the punch list type items that the homeowner can see and review. But any of the back end material order type stuff or paperwork or little things, that's going to live on the to dos.
Yeah, that makes sense. Looks like we have a question here from Janice. Do you charge a design fee?
We do not. We want to. We wish that we could figure out how to do it without scaring people off. But in Denton, there's I think four other pool companies just right here that are all doing it for free. So we just haven't figured out how to make that work.
Yep, that makes sense. And Doug has asked, will you share the template? Uh, you know,
Absolutely.
that's awesome. All right, so we can continue on with questions a little bit later. I do want to go ahead and kind of turn it over to Kelley and Jeff here for a minute. Why don't you all tell us a little bit more about what you guys do, how it might differ. I know you're on the fiberglass primarily, but yeah, tell us about Staycation fiberglass pools, how you got started, things like that.
You know how he tricked me into pool business?
So very similar, where we started building pools around COVID as well. And I just told her one day, I said, hey, I'm going to build pools. And she's like,
We did insurance I've done insurance for 15 years. So he's like, I'm just going to go do this. And I'm like, bye, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing.
and I think she was like, okay, he's got this crazy idea. I'm going to kind of let him go. Because we were still doing insurance at the time, right? And so I started out doing it myself. I mean, I did everything from selling it. We dug the pools, we set them, all fiberglass at the time, right? We did everything, backfill, plumbing, the decks, coping, waterfalls, everything that our guys do, I have physically done. And I think that really helped because when we were designing the system with JobTread, it allowed us to say what actually goes into this pool, how much does it cost, what do we realistically need to do it correctly, what do we not need. And I think we were able to really take that and with JobTread's platform, make a system that was seamless so that our folks, when they go out to clients' homes, can drop a bid in just a second. You know,
we
and
are a
it's
little bit different because we have two sets of subs. For the most part, everybody's W-2'd. We do that to control our quality, and to control what we're required, and what we want done. Jeff is one of the only PHTA members that has actually been certified to install fiberglass and has gone through the actual training for fiberglass through PHTA. So within that, we wanted to keep that control and that ability to be able to say, hey, look, there may be a ton of people out there, but we are the only ones. You're not dealing with a whole bunch of subcontractors. We can control our schedule better that way. We let everybody know with videos, which we can show you who's coming out to your home from the start of the salesperson. We send a video all the way out to every single person that's going to be on that job site, the QC person, our project manager, the foreman, everything they know, they get videos of those people. They're all in our shirts. There's no question that you go to this person and that person's in charge of that specific part of the job.
And I think it's really helped us. We do about 120 to 150 pools a year. And so we have to be very streamlined. We have to be very organized, and we have to be consistent from sales all the way through to the finish. And the system with JobTread has really helped with that.
That's awesome. Do you find that you're having to also provide a lot of education about the difference between a
Yes.
gunite and a fiberglass pool?
Yes,
Yes.
all the time. So all of our social media, we do in the splash zone. So it's all education. So we always tell everybody our number one is education. Number two is integrity. Those are our two core values, education, integrity. We are out there to make people understand the difference. Both are great products. There's nothing wrong with either product, but there's a specific need for both, right? We do both. So we tell people all the time, there's not a good or a bad. The only time you get into the bad side, if you're looking at gunite, is if, like she was saying, people are cutting corners, people are, lowering their quality. That's where you kind of get in that questionable area with gunite, where if you're going with fiberglass and the manufacturer you're purchasing that pool shell from has a lifetime warranty, where's your concern, right? So that tends to help us too. I think when we're doing our education, we do a lot of videos through JobTread, so we can do that as well.
Great. Yes. So maybe you want to hop in and show us how you do it.
So let's see if I
I'll
can
start with the sales process. So this is actually just going to be a test site one, but what we do from a sales standpoint is a little bit different, because it is fiberglass and it is a little bit more of an education. If a client calls and sets an appointment, we either have them come into our design center first, or we go out to their home first. We don't send out any pricing. The reason for that is access. So with fiberglass, it's a little bit different. We have access points that we need to be able to figure out what we have to do for a crane. Crane is a big one for us. So are we going up and over a 2.5-story house with a huge long run that's going to be a $15,000 crane? Or can we just pop it over the side of the fence and it's a short, quick boom truck? So for us, access is a big one that we do need to go out and look at. We also use a system called Mosier, which is a little box. Hopefully most people know what that is, but it measures the yard and it gives us the topography. So my sales team has one, every person does, and they go out, they load the topography up along with the pictures, and then that allows our design person to go in, put in the exact topography. So now we know vertical concrete or turndowns. We know exactly what the cost is going to be for concrete because we are an all-in price. So with us, which you'll see in our budget here in a second, we give you your price of your pool, your price of your crane, price of haul off, price of all your equipment, price of your concrete with 3 feet around. And then we have our options at the bottom. So they know exactly what the price is going to be. And if we have vertical concrete because we've got a 10-foot drop, then they know what that looks like. If you want to go to budget first.
So if we jump into budget, and you preloaded this one, that's perfect.
No, that's an old one.
Is that an old one?
Yeah, I didn't preload it. I didn't know it was preloaded.
So let's see if I can slide these out of the way so I can actually delete this. So what we did is we went ahead and set up groups at the bottom, and now we have about 200 pool models. So we set up cost groups for specific areas such as, your plumbing, your electric, so on and so forth. And then what we did is we basically took a pool model So this is an Aspen 1430 from Thursday Pools. And we went ahead and dropped in a price. So this particular pool is already pre-costed and budgeted based on everything that it needs. We took the dimensions of the pool shell itself, and that allowed us to calculate how much, with our expansion of our soil coming out of the ground, how much haul off we needed, how much backfill we're going to need. The plumbing based on the pool, we're replacing everything we do within a 30-foot run of their equipment. We do have different equipment options. We do stay within, two main options, but it allows the salesperson to go in and determine, okay, what do we actually need? Do we need to add anything else? Most of this is hidden from the clients, such as the plumbing. They don't need to know we've got, 3T fittings, reducers. But what it does allow is once this project is sold, that our team can then come in here and see what has been budgeted, print that out, and then give it to our warehouse. And then the warehouse can actually go in and pick these items and get them preloaded and staged for that project. So everything going out to that particular project is basically pre-budgeted and ready to go on this particular project.
So I'll show you on here. So what we do is we just come in and we'll just close out the eyeballs. So the eyeballs are closed out unless they're specifically wanting to see the equipment, but we've got it all written out here. So we'll come down here, close it all out, and then all this is their additional upgrades. So they can choose their heater chiller, waterline tile, coping, pool tiger, additional lights, turf, their robot, handrails, bubblers, filter upgrades, waterfalls. Here's our rock excavation. So we've got that in there too, because it is definitely an issue within Texas for sure. We can do spray deck, two-tone. So it kind of gives them, they can click on and off, kind of like what she was talking about. You want to give them options of being able to upgrade their stuff. This is a proposal. So once they do this and they sign it and we send it, then they'll actually get a contract after that. And our contract's a little bit different. From a standpoint, I'll go here really quick. And
we found that we like to give them a 15-day on the proposal because a lot of people will take their time, they'll shop, they'll look, they may not respond back to you. And when you go into JobTread and you decline the proposal, you can actually have an option to notify the client. We love doing that. We get phone calls, wait, I wasn't done with that. And maybe they didn't respond, for 3 weeks. And now they're back on the hook. So it's a good way to kind of do that takeaway within the sales process to kind of get them, re-engaged in the project itself as well.
Sure.
And we do our draws right here on the top. So we show the draw schedule because it is pool shell and pool shell order. We do it in different stages based on when we order the pool shell and when it's complete. Project start excavation from there to decking. Once we start the dig, we're in and out in 30 days. So this draw schedule is pretty quick. We go over our manufacturing, and then we have, of course, all of our legal jargon that has to be signed off for our attorney to be happy. Otherwise, our attorney is not happy with us. But
one thing I noticed, Kelley, so you can actually in the budget and in your catalog template, you can save the visibility options so that they're automatically hidden so that you don't have to go through manually check.
There you go. I will change that immediately. Didn't know that. Thank you.
Yeah.
See, you learn something every day. I get in it a lot. I just don't know all the little details. So,
yeah.
And I feel like I bug Michael too much. So I just leave him alone.
And like from Kira, she was showing us a couple on hers right now. And we're like, ooh,
I like that.
Oh, yeah.
I like that.
Go to your budget tab real quick. And then if you changed your view from cost group, if you change it to cost type, if any of your stuff is set up like this, you can actually create a work order or a material pick for your guys rather than actually having to go through and select everything. You can just select your group of materials.
See, that's funny because we had kind of asked that question and we were trying to find a way to do that. And I don't think anyone really had the workaround for it. So we were meant to be on this call.
Yeah.
Because we're going to use that.
Back in the budget, if there's a little eyeball, you'll see right next to the, right there. So this is kind of where you can go through and you could just automatically have, all of those set.
Fantastic.
You can save
fantastic.
that
We'll get
in the
that.
catalog as well, so that every time you pull in that template, it'll
Okay.
do that by default.
Yeah, we'll change that for sure. And then some of those other documents we were talking about, we do some things as far as we have a concrete agreement. What this concrete agreement looks like is it just talks about the shade and colors of our concrete decks. The fact that they could be different colors, the natural how it processes, how it cures, hairline cracking, concrete stamps, bird bass, and concrete bullnose. So there's usually no total here, but they've got to sign this off. This is one of the sign-offs we do. The other sign-off we have is we have an informational video.
So right here, Kelley, so on that screen, so if you just go ahead and click plus document again. So it's by default, it's adding all of them, check. But if you didn't want any of those line items, you can just uncheck right there. Yeah. And so I see how you're using the template to have a bunch of kind of the agreements and the contracts, that additional information. That's a really great use of these documents. Most people don't realize, like, you don't have to have line items and then you won't see any of that financial information on there, but you can still collect, one or multiple signatures on these.
Yeah, this one is employee introductions. And so again, like we talked about, we're really big on making sure they know who these people are. So Sean is our superintendent, construction manager. Josh is our project manager. Andy is one of our QC managers. We just hired another one. So each project will have an assigned QC manager. So they'll actually know which one is theirs. Eric is our site coordinator. So he's the one that when they actually dig, he verifies that the levels are right, everything's correct. And then from there, they get an email or a text in the text group that we have that tells them who's going to be on site for their actual install. Here's our sprinkler waiver and liability that we're actually absolutely amazing at destroying sprinkler systems. There's even a YouTube video that's pretty funny that we actually went to a job site and we showed it all torn up. And then they have to acknowledge this. We have one for our HOA, I think, right? Project layout and then HOA. So again, with the HOA one, we upload all the HOA documents in here for them. We send it, they have to sign off that they understand that they're signing off on the location, they're signing off on the design, they're signing off on everything they're sending HOA. And one of the other things our attorneys love, Eric, is this little guy right here in history. So this gives me a history of every time a customer has opened a document. So if you've ever been sued or have to go to court, which, none of us want this, but I just want to say JobTread has protected and CYA'd our butts as a owner, because this tells me every single time a client's opened something. So if they come back and say, well, I never opened that, or I didn't sign that. Yeah, you did, because it's right here. So I absolutely love this feature. And it helps us to be able to see what's going on from a standpoint there. I think that's pretty much all of our documents, right?
You also see those, when they have viewed it and opened it, like you see that right there on the job dashboard. Yep. Even across all the jobs, like it kind of gives you a clue of like, oh, hey, now they're looking at it again. Maybe now's a good time to follow up. Definitely think it's a great feature there. Now, one thing I wanted to ask, and really both of you, again, as I've been going through this process, I mean, well, one, the sprinkler and irrigation, the level of destruction that came, I guess I wasn't, they told me about it, but I didn't really fully process it. So I love that you're really, you're really highlighting like, hey, like we are about to destroy your irrigation system and you're going to need to bring someone out to fix it. That was one of those things that, like, I think it's great that you do kind of give people a heads up on that.
So Eric, on your irrigation, right? Most people think, and you may as well, right? Oh, well, can we just cap the lines once they break? And once you see it, and this is why we did the video, once you see it, you see them splinter and crack, and you may rip it out of the ground 20 foot down, it pulled off of a T. Yeah. And then now you've got a leak there. And then now you've got water going under the structure of the pool, right? So the reason we did the video specifically was to show this is why you can't just cap a line. This is what actually happens. And since we've done that, we've had zero questions on sprinklers.
Prior to that, every single one, even though we told them, we know that I told them, the designer told them, everybody's told them, zero questions since we started this video. So
And this
one
is
of
a
the
video that
things,
y'all created?
yeah, it was just, we went out to a job site and actually filmed an actual job site that says, okay, we get asked this question all the time. Are my sprinklers going to be destroyed? I don't know. You tell me. And we like videotaped it. We're like, look at this. We
Walked
grabbed
through
it.
the trench and just showed everything just splintered and
destroyed.
war zone. And we do the same for, your grass,
Here's the other
your
one that we
backyard,
do.
your everything.
We do this informational one. So this informational video you may be wondering what purpose the large black pipe has, because we do a black sump pipe for that. So there's a video on that we've been at a job site. We often are asked, how messy is the pool install get? Very messy. So we show a whole video of an actual job site. We're often asked, why is there rock being delivered to our yard? Like where's rock going? So we explain that. And then we have the sprinklers here. So not only are they signing the sprinklers here, but then I actually added another sprinkler sign off, because even with this, we were still getting questions, which told me they never actually watched the videos.
Yeah,
right?
they just scribbled it and left it.
So
Yeah, that's awesome. Would you all be willing to? I'm just curious if you'd be willing to share those videos, because I think that's a
Sure.
great way to really help people understand. Because like again, I know firsthand, you can tell someone something a million times, and sometimes they don't always process it. But seeing is believing, and I think I really like how you're using that.
And then we use the left side. We have a whole thing on here. So we know what design consultant, when our pool was ordered, how the customer wants to be contacted, our sales phases, which in sales we have, their proposal, contract sent, pending financing, complete, our pre-construction. Again, this is more creating the files. I'm hoping maybe some of this goes away now we have the to-dos. We won't maybe need this as much. Construction phase, again, this is again to help me know where we're at for draw schedules. And then our post is just closing the file, tells me my financing, if we're approved for HOA, if we're approved for city, their selections are done. It just gives us a really good screenshot on the left side of where we're at, to really help us know on top of, if we're doing the scheduling.
Yeah, that's great. One thing I was going to ask, because like as I got into it, again, for me to be able to sort of be the homeowner and that that external client user, going through a pool build process, like one of the things that I realized is that we really, the company I'm working with, like they needed to share all of the kind of the project manager, the key people who are involved in the process, having them actually share their contact information directly on that client portal. When I logged in, it made it a lot easier for me to reach out. I can message them, send them messages. Like it's something that if you don't share that information, which you can do automatically through the roles, I think that once they did that, it felt a lot better knowing that here are all of those key people I've been working with, just like how you shared kind of who they are and you had a little video about them, but like being able to continue having access to them and having the discussions and keeping everybody on the same page. I think it really helped us to centralize the communication, because when we first got into it, like there were a bunch of kind of text messages, with just with my wife, or just with me, or with me and my wife, and like we kind of started, like I got to the point where it's like, all right, look, hold on, like, and this is like before we kind of rolled out some of those messages updates. I was like, we need to bring this all together. I want to make sure that any especially any financial change order related information, like I knew that everybody was seeing, the same info and that we were on the same page. And so, I think making sure that you're sharing, your project managers, your, the kind of the key people sharing their contact info on that client portals was a really, kind of a big win, that I just sort of realized.
Prior to messages, we actually, and we still do it, we do a group text. So they get a group text with Jeff on it, with our project manager. Everybody's explained who they are, with husband and wife on it, and then it goes out to them. And that's really their communication. Now that we have messaging, we're going to start transitioning to that. But prior to us having messaging, we always had a group text. Sure. That's also, again, I know I keep going back to CYA, but it's also a really good way by having all that if you ever do have a problem at the end of the project, we download that entire group text and we upload that to JobTread. So we're able to keep that data so it's not on somebody's phone. But if we ever have an issue a year from now, we have all that communication.
Yeah. And regarding like kind of the scheduling, kind of using other, do you share kind of photos and progress, progress photos? Do you use daily logs? Kind of like, are there other means that you've started incorporating into that, once they're already a client?
So with the daily logs, whenever they make their selections, we do the daily log. The teams actually do a daily log every day. So they're on job site, they do a daily log every day. What we choose from an office standpoint is what we share, right? Because sometimes the daily log might have an issue and we don't really need to concern the client with it because it's not a concern for them. It's more something that we need to resolve, right, and fix. So yes, they get their photos, like any of the actual pictures that are during the process, they're tagged as a customer. But we don't let the guys in the field make that decision. We actually make that decision in the office. But we use that through the daily log, through the files. A lot of the scheduling we do not share with them, but now that we have to-dos, we'll definitely go to that for the customer side. But the scheduling, we had a previous project manager. We just got a new one and it was very convoluted. So he's reworking it and he's going to be the one actually going to Job Connect with us. So we're super excited about that.
Nice. Yeah. When we first kind of got into the build, I didn't know if my contractor was using daily logs or not, because I wasn't seeing that. And I was like, hey, are y'all not using this feature? They go, oh no, we are. We're heavily using it, but we just don't share everything. But after that point, they started sharing just the project managers' daily logs. And like when we started seeing, all of the updates, even if like, again, I'm at work all day, I don't know what's happening, but like, to see and to know that there was still progress being made. And then, when photos, and it made sense, like kind of the progress, like that really, again, as the homeowner, that gave me a lot more confidence and like, yeah, okay, the thing, the project is still progressing, things are happening, like without them having to like go out of their way to, call or reach out, like, we could see that. And I think ever since they did that, again, it really, felt like an even more transparent process. And so, I would encourage everyone to really think through. And I know a lot of times, you get a bunch of different, trades involved and different people submitting them. Like it's important that you sort of curate, the ones and the information and the photos that you want to share. Obviously if there's a screw up, you probably don't need the customer to know if you're going to come right back out tomorrow and fix it, but like the things that are going to help them know that progress is being made. I've firsthand, I've really appreciated, getting those updates. And again, to the extent that you're comfortable sharing that schedule, for me, I can't tell you the number of times, that being able to pull that up through the client portal, like when I'm talking with, the irrigation or the drainage guy, or trying to coordinate the landscape, and like just being able to at least give them like, hey, here's the best information that I know. As of right now, it looks like we're still 3 weeks out from that. Can you slot us into your schedule? And I always try to tell them like, look, this is all subject to change, but like, I just want to know that you're planning around this time to be able to come in and, repair the irrigation or repair the drainage. And so I think like, again, giving the clients, when that they're going to have to be coordinating additional, kind of services and trades around this, it was really helpful for me to have that.
That's great feedback, especially like you said, you're building a pool currently. And so these are the things I think we sometimes take for granted or customers don't share with us.
Yeah.
Right. So, some customers will share everything with you, but some don't tell you, certain things like this, that's a very simple change is very helpful. So I like that. And I think we'll start looking at that as well.
Yeah, I tried to tell my contractor, I was like, I don't know if you really want me as a client. Like, I feel like I'm probably not your ideal client. Like, I understand the back end of things a little bit better than probably most. But, hey, Kira, I'm curious. So how do you all, use that client portal to engage, your customers? Like, how much are you sharing versus not sharing?
I really like to share all of the plans, and I use it to share, especially during the estimating phase, all of the options that are available. I used to carry around the catalogs for all of the design centers to all of the appointments, and they just get thrown away. They go to a landfill. So all of those catalogs are available online. And so I just link them the relevant information rather than sending them tons of over information, I'm able to say, this is the equipment that I've selected for you, and send them those equipment brochures. That's been very helpful. Also, as far as all of our warranty information, certificates of completion, and things like that, I'm able to create a document just like Kelley had as far as her contracts and things go. The certificate of completion, where it doesn't have any financial data on it, but it has the dates. Here's the completed date, here were all of your selections, and here's when the warranty expires, and send that to them. On some of the other sides, like the roofing side, definitely clients are really leaning into the messaging features to give us relevant information and to ask for information that they need. It's super helpful.
Sure. It looks like we got a question here from Denise. She said, Kira, are you the only one that does the bidding in JobTread, or do you have a sales rep or sales team that also helps you out?
I have the two owners, they do sales. I have trained one of them on how to do bids in JobTread. The other one, he has not. And
I think we lost you there for a
because
second. What did you say there with the other owner?
Because he still goes out and cleans pools for the fun of it, he's not in the office very often. And so usually if he needs something bid, he just gives me all of the information and I put it together. But up until probably the last 6 months ago, I was doing 100% of the design. And so it was easier for me to be the one to bid the job because I had all the information.
Yeah. Awesome. So we have another question here. This is probably for both of you. Do you have a way to share the scope of work with your project manager or superintendent without including the budget or relying on the schedule view, which is hard to view on the phone in the field? Do you have something like using a PDF or a checklist?
We have so many checklists, I want to throw them out a window sometimes. So with our superintendent, so we do it a little, again, because we're fiberglass, it's a lot different, I feel like, but maybe it's very similar. Once we've sold the pool, and the pool shell comes in and we're ready to do the install, we do what we call a final walkthrough. That is with our superintendent and our QC manager. They go out with a copy of the contract. Okay, so they have the contract with them. So they go line by line to verify everything that they bought is what they're getting. They pull out the design, they pull out the site survey, the project survey, and they lay everything out with them. And at that point, if something needed to change, that's the last time they can make any kind of change without costing them money. The only way it would cost money is if they make a change and it shifts concrete cost, right? That's really going to be the biggest issue for us. From there, they have a checkoff list that they have to go through. And then from there, we have a checkoff for the dig, we have a checkoff for install, we have a checkoff for concrete. But as far as the superintendent and the project manager, I mean, for me, we just print the contract. I don't care if they know what we sold. We're very open. I don't care that they can see what we sold everything for. But like our QC managers and stuff, when they get into the project, they don't see any profit. I just have that set up in our permissions. Their actual permission just doesn't allow them to see profit.
One thing, I would kind of add to this is that, so in the release that we just did yesterday, we did actually, we updated the schedules list view to be a much better, much more mobile friendly. It's the same kind of new view that is on to-dos, but it's that same, list view. And so, what you might consider doing is setting that the list view to be the default view for the people who are out there in the field, because obviously, Gantt chart can be very hard, to see and navigate on a small screen. But I think that this list view, you know, I actually just pulled it up. I mean, it looks really good, and it was a big improvement. So I would say definitely take a look at that that new update there. And one other thing that I learned again going through this process as the homeowner is that, you know, when they shared the task with me, you know, they had assigned, you know, all the, you know, whenever I needed to write all the checks and some other things. But like what happened was, like, I was able to go in and mark these tasks as completed. And I heard, you know, a lot of people agreed. I was like, I don't think we should be able to do that. So we added an additional permission where now you can restrict, you know, people from being able to edit the progress, where you could now just give them view access, because before, if they were assigned that task, they automatically could update the status of it. And so, you know, I think that this will be something that'll sort of help you, you know, if you are sharing more of that schedule. And then, you know, lastly, the way that people will, if you wanted to create like a, you know, a work order or something like that, you know, you can add all of those line items, and then basically if you just zero out all the cost, you know, it'll automatically hide all the financial data. But, you know, one of our upcoming projects here soon is to add, you know, an additional feature on there, where it'll be like the specifications tab, so that you'll be able to share all of the, you know, the specs for the job, the install, the materials, the details, without having to have any of that budgetary information shared with the you know, with the people who are needing to see that. So I think that'll be another way, you know, here in the near future that you'll be able to address you know, some of those questions there.
We currently send bid requests, even when it's a price list. We've just changed our bid request template to reflect material order or work order on the top of it. That way it doesn't have any of that data, especially for the supply houses where we might have a budgeted amount, but it would be great if they charged us less.
Yeah.
We also have for our equipment lists that we have equipment in stock. We just create either a work order or a bid request to Mako Pools as the vendor. And so it's just an in-house type situation.
Sure. One other question we have here. So do either of you send out any sort of intro to JobTread type of message? I assume to the client, to help them understand what JobTread is.
I posted the default message on my estimate template when I send it out, and it includes just a little thing that says, for help using our customer portal provided by JobTread, visit the link below to watch a helpful video. And it's the video that Anna made introducing JobTread.
Awesome. What about y'all, Kelley?
We don't, and we had been thinking about trying to do something. To be honest, I don't think our clients use the system as much as they probably could or should. But our process is so quick that it's not a 6-month, hey, we need them in the system for 6 months. I mean, from start, once we're approved and pulls in, to finish, we're in and out in 30 business days. So it's a much quicker process, but it is something that we had talked about implementing. So I don't know if there's a way to send out that link directly to everybody, or if that's one specifically for Mako, or if that's just a JobTread one.
No, that's one that Anna made, and it's just on YouTube for everybody to use. And I just include it on our default our template that we use. It's in the email message part of it. And then there's also a vendor video, and I have that on our bid requests. And what I have noticed is, ever since I have put that link on our estimates and everything, customers are really seriously using the program so much more.
It's awesome. Yeah, we definitely have you know, so let me see here. If you go into the I got it open here. So if you go into the help desk on JobTread, you can come and see there's one of these is the customer marketing kit. And so in here, there's a bunch of, you know, kind of content and helpful information. So you can view the full, you know, the full kit right over here. And then there's also a smaller help desk for clients, and then for vendors. But, you know, a lot of the information is available right here on the website. You know, we kind of make it where you can get kind of some of this content, this information, to help you better articulate, what is JobTread? How can it help you? There's, some videos that you can embed. So there's a lot of content that we've provided to try to make it easier for you all to kind of explain what it is to your clients.
I think we even have on our Mako Pools website, we have a page that is dedicated to here's the system that we use, and
Awesome.
has links to those videos as well.
Pools.
It may actually be on, it may not actually be linked. Let me look at my roofing.
Great looking website, but you guys can again learn more about Mako over here, and then we've also got Staycation, fiberglasspools.com. Their websites there. We did have one other question. So I saw Daniel had asked, said we're a newer company currently using, currently one-man show. Does JobTread have someone or a service that could help set up our process, catalog, et cetera, in JobTread? There's so many options and abilities that the time to learn it and set it up is overwhelming. So, one thing I would recommend, Daniel, we do have what we call like implementation partners. So if you go into the settings, you can come over here to the marketplace and then just filter this by implementation. There's a couple groups here. I know there's a couple more that are coming on here in the near future that they're looking to offer this kind of like done for you service. I do think though it's very important that you take the time to understand how the system works and to really use this as an opportunity to update your numbers, update your budgets, your templates, like really take a good look at how you're budgeting and estimating these projects, because as you've seen here from Kieran, from Kelley and Jeff, it's very detailed what they have put together. And at the end of the day, I think it's extremely important so that you can make sure, that you're hitting those target profit numbers, that your clients are understanding exactly what's included, what's not included. This is an exercise that, you can outsource, but I do recommend taking the time to go through and be part of that process. And, you also have your JobTread customer success manager, who, that you can hop on with them at any time. You're able to, right on the, I think right on the help desk here, you'll see their information. You can schedule a meeting with them directly, but there's also lots of great training resources that we provide. I mean, we've got live trainings every day. There's also recordings. So if you wanted to go through and sort of learn a little bit more about one particular piece of that, that is there. And the other thing I'll kind of wrap up here with as we kind of conclude is that I want to encourage you and everyone here within the JobTread Pros community. There's actually a pool builders chat group that it's been really awesome to see the different industry focused groups who have been able to ask questions and answer each other's questions and collaborate and share. So we really want to make sure that we keep building this community here. And I understand the importance of being able to kind of keep it a little bit more focused and have kind of it by industry. So in there, go look for that pool builder group. I think that would be an awesome place to join and to connect with others and kind of keep this conversation going. I'll also show that we've got our last boot camp for the year coming up in October 24th to the 25th. So this is a 2-day experience where you come into our office here in Dallas, Texas, and essentially we'll go through a series of kind of the beginning, getting up to speed as quickly as possible. It is a very intense, there's a lot of information that you will learn and walk away with, but we really help you to get set up. At the end of this 2 days, you should feel, much more confident, ready to go and start, fully utilizing JobTread in your business. And it's also a great opportunity to network with others who are going through the same thing as you. I've just seen lots of great collaboration, kind of sharing and working together. So it's a really neat event. If you're interested in that, you can grab your tickets in the marketplace as well. And lastly, though, what both Kelley and Jeff and Kira have all alluded to is this JobTread Connect. It's our annual user conference. We do it every year in January. So, this is going to be a really awesome experience to be able to not only, learn more of the, the intermediate and advanced, uses of JobTread, but also just to be able to network, with other pool builders in the community. We had a really strong showing of pool builders last year at JobTread Connect. I'm really excited about it. This year we're going to do even more where we try to kind of be very proactive in helping you, meet the similar type businesses, similar size, kind of where you're able to really connect with each other and share those best practices, help each other, because at the end of the day, like, a rising tide lifts all boats, and we very much believe in trying to facilitate this educational experience that will help you build a better business, hit the ground running in 2025, get everything that you need up to speed in your JobTread. And it's a whole lot of fun, literally, like all of your food, entertainment, it's all included. All you got to do is get yourself to Dallas, Texas, and grab a hotel room there, and we'll take care of everything else. So I don't know if
Eric, on that really quick,
Yeah.
if you are thinking and you're on a border, I will tell you, it catapulted our business. JobTread we used for a year. We had never gone to Job Connect when we had done it, and we were struggling. We went and it catapulted everything we were able to do. All the stuff you're seeing now is because of us going to JobTread Connect. So I would empower anybody that's thinking, go. It's well worth the money. And not only that, bring more people than you think. Because we brought 3, it was me, 2 others, and I wish I would have brought 6 more to go to the different classes. So bring your people.
Yeah, we're going to have even more sessions. Like, I think we're going to have like 5 tracks. It's like over 50 educational sessions. And again, it's not, all of it's not just JobTread. It's, it's some other kind of broader, sales, tactics, marketing, bookkeeping, the back office. We've got a whole financial management track in there. A lot of roundtable networking. So it is a great opportunity to bring the team and then just be able to go through this experience together. And so you're not having to come back and try to, like, re-explain everything. Like, it's a way that you can divide and conquer here through the day. And then at night, come back together, hey, here's what I learned. And here's what, kind of all of those takeaways can sort of be digested in real time with the entire team, so that everyone's coming back on the same page, ready to hit the ground running. And lastly, we've got a Builder Stories podcast that, we've had several pool builders on there. I'd love to have, anyone, if you're interested in sharing your story, going more in depth about how you got started, some of the lessons that you've learned along the way, I'd love to have you on the show. You can just right from builderstories.com. You can apply to be on it. You can also see all the episodes. So, it's an awesome resource, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, kind of wherever you like to listen. There's a lot in there. I think we're about to start adding some features where you can like sort and filter. So it'll be easier to sort of find all the pool builds, but we try to, in the description, kind of call them out there. So I encourage you to tune in, listen to a few of those, as well as I'd love to have some more of you come on the show. So I think that sort of wraps it up here. I know we've run over a little bit of time. I'm happy to, if anyone has any other kind of burning questions that you want to get out there, we could probably get a few more in there. But yeah, I'm really excited and appreciate, this community and how we've been able to keep building this pool building group, within the JobTread Pros community. It's really exciting to see everyone helping each other. Big thank you to you all, Kira, Kelley, Jeff, for coming on here and for sharing, your experience. And, it means a lot to us and to this community as a whole that you're willing to come and help others, to improve their business. So, thank you very much for that. Looks like we got Ricardo. Looking forward to seeing you all at Connect. Awesome. Glad you'll be coming there. Taylor shared the link. Yeah, I mean, it's just jobtread.com/connect. We'll give you more information about the event. Carissa asks, Kira, are you able to share your templates? So I'm not sure how we can.
Where should I put those, Eric?
Great question. Let's talk about that after. Maybe we can, when we send out the recording, we could include it there, or maybe we can upload it somewhere. For those of you who don't know, there is in the help desk, there's a templates area where you can go find some of the sort of the starter templates, if you will, that we've shared out there. There's also jttemplates.com. It's a third party website that some of our customers have, come together, and they've been sharing a lot of templates over there. So there's definitely lots of places, but yeah, we'll find out where and how to best share them. Feel free to reach out to us. We can help connect you as well. I think you can just email webinars@jobtread.com, and we'll sort of help connect the dots after that. But also, again, probably just in the JobTread Pros community would be a great place to do it as well. So unless there are any additional questions, I will we'll go ahead and wrap this up. Appreciate everyone for coming. Again, thank you to our guest. Glad to hear. Looks like some people said this was very helpful. Thank you. So absolutely, this is our pleasure to put this on, and yeah, look forward to continuing to build this community and helping each other grow. Thank you all.